on? Hope everybody coming through today. I'm back today. Gonna see what's going on, see how people are feeling today, see what we talking about. Um, see what's on the agenda for the day. So we're gonna get into. Got the world premiere today. We're gonna get into this good thing. See what we're gonna do today. Let's see. Got this live chat going on right now, so we're gonna see what we get on. Let me go get some people in here. Get some peoples up in here. We're gonna be talking about different topics today, so let's see what we're working with. I gotta send it out. What's up? What's up? See, I just came on. So what's up? How you doing? Glad you in. Had to send out some extremers. I think I'll be on. What's happening? How you doing? Everybody can hear me fine. You know how it goes. They give me like 2 hours on here before the thing acts kind of funny. So we back today. I'm feeling better than I did yesterday too. I was a little bit off, but I'm okay today. What you mean, Vinny guys, wake up call? Did you not hear the news? Have you not heard the news? Have you not heard the news? The news is Trump is going along with Musk and Vinny about the lazy, shiftless Americans. Did you not hear the news? That's the word. Lisa Cabrera just had it on her video for him. Oh, they're gonna keep the visa because he's got people that's working in Mar-a-Lago for Trump right now. So it's 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 there. So Vinny actually made his point clear, and he's going to be working with Vinny and Oolong. So Vinny said the shiftless, lazy bums, mediocrity, they are going to work. Trump's going to work with it. I knew it was going to come out. I knew it was going to happen for many reasons. You'll never get America as a total non-migrant country. And if you try, for from a fact, there's a lot of jobs people won't even do. They're gonna fall out over who's got too much clout because Elon Musk got a big ego and Trump's got a big ego. So you can't fit those two egos in the same room. So you know that's gonna definitely be problematic. You know it's only inevitable. You know it's inevitable. That won't be a surprise at all. Now he you know, it's going down. It's like I expected it. Trump's gonna talk a good talk. A lot of these Trumpicans and this mega folks about to be in for a real rude awakening. See, the people like myself who already knows ain't much there, ain't gonna tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Know exactly what's gonna happen. It's gonna sprinkle against everybody. Oh, there's gonna be agendas, obviously, the things, but it's gonna sprinkle because he's not going to mess up his bag. He's not gonna mess up his bag. So that's what's up. If everything goes right. Okay. Anyway, let's keep on talking. Let's see what everybody's got. Please continue to hit the likes and hit this poll up and see what you hear. I don't really. I'm gonna tell you a story. Charleston White to me is a plant. He says the most inane things, degrading things. So, um, him dissing her is wild. He's a plant. Yeah, I know about Jeff Teague. I know about Jeff Teague. There's always gonna be a couple of them who can't help themselves. So I'm not going to entertain much of what he has to say. No, because I've already listened to a lot of Charleston White. I forgot who it was that he went on his little rant about. It was something that happened. Anyway, his they pulled his cap off his head. You know what he's about. He's a plant. Charleston White is no different. He's no different than Fat Joe. He has I'm trying to think who's the brother. Uh I can't think of the brother that was locked up. But anyway, they used him. Percy. I like Percy. Percy, because Percy talked that down home folk talk. But Charleston White went the opposite of Percy. Yeah, that's not a surprise though. Jeff Teague's always got some troll stuff to say. I'd love to tell you that I remember the half of his career. If you know what, if half his shots land as half as he trolls, he may still have had an NBA career. Think about it. He take a lot of shots. He didn't do that when he played. They didn't land in the NBA. But they always got people that are bought and paid for. And Charleston White does that. So, you know. But I appreciate you bringing it to me, though. And I'm sure I'll see it. Would I do a video on it? No. Yeah, because they bought and paid for it. See, and the thing is that they have to badmouth her, type up Caitlin Clark, and they're doing this on purpose. Angel Reese is paying the price for actually having a winning ring. She actually came into the WNBA with a ring on her finger, unlike Caitlin Clark. It's funny how they're doing it. Now, they can get on Angel Reese by how she dresses or something. Some people can say it's how old she is, culture. But this is some whole different take right here. This ain't got nothing to do with all that. You know, same ones dissing her gonna be talking about Serena Williams and others because it's fashionable. They get paid to do that. Yeah, well, that's why you bothered to come on here and check it out. So, oh God, I don't need trolls right now. Cracks me up how people got a lot of time to control you. But anyway, enlightened people will tell you like this. I'm not going to, I know what this is about. And the powers that be are paying people to badmouth a woman that it's a shame. They shouldn't be doing this to Angel Reese at all. They shouldn't say nothing about Caitlin Clark. I mean, it should be about your skills. But we don't live in a world that goes by your talent level. We go by other factors. So it's a shame. She don't even- Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. She ain't putting it out there for everybody. And I guess they feel that you got to be a certain way. One thing about Angel Reese, if you pay close attention, she really, despite the fact that she might dress a little bit here and there, she don't really put her business out like in the streets. What's the question? Entertainment business. Okay. And Bruce, are you okay? Yeah. But what's that got to do with anything about what they're going on about? You can appreciate a woman's physique figure. Oh God, I got these idiots over here trolling. It's gonna be one of those kind of days. We can only hope that we can actually get some good conversations on here and people don't come on here and think this is a troll fest. Talk about one topic and then they just get set off. What's up? All right, let's see what we're working with. All right, where you coming from? What's up? I don't even know who the conversation is going, but don't mind the trolls. They're only helping your channel views alone to an extent. But I like we having conversation. I want some grown conversation, not just jive. Well, we can talk the talk, but I want some stuff. I know it comes with the territory. I'm aware. Yeah, I already told you that Green Bay's got to win the game because they haven't beaten a legit team. Minnesota's got to beat Green Bay because they got to prove that they are legit. Talk about how twisted that sounds to say that. Both these teams are two of the best teams in it, and yet no one buys either one of them. They buy Green Bay, but they don't know if they're really that good. They buy Minnesota, but they don't trust their quarterback, and they think their record is fraudulent. Make it make sense. I have never ever been this late in the season with two teams that are got to prove so much. It does. Minnesota's does too, but in different ways. And I still think that the most dangerous team in that division is the Rams. I think that in the bottom of the NFC, because it's got to be somebody that you don't expect that could be problematic. Anyway, so glad we got people coming through and keep on hitting the comments, hitting the likes, hit subscribes, and take the poll question 50-50 on Donovan Mitchell. That's interesting. I asked, was he being ignored? 50 say yeah, 50 say no. I think you're going to get a split with Donovan Mitchell. I do. I think that the problem with him is that his Utah days is when he scored a lot, but he was kind of looked like a Dame Lillard, Jamal Murray kind of cat that scored a lot. I like him too. I just don't know if he's a front running dude. He's an odd cat because it's not like a Steve Nash thing where he got hot later in his career and people just like all of a sudden it's like he flourishes good in Cleveland. Yeah, I tell you, Cleveland's got a nice squad. They got a nice squad. And they made short work of Denver the other night. They get out, they can play, they can run. They're gonna be a handful. So I think it's gonna be a real interesting situation. I think you got Boston, Cleveland, and New York. It's the heavyweights. Yeah, to me though, to me, if Jared Allen is healthy in the postseason, that's the X factor to me. Because the other guys are going, that's where their problem. And then they can continue to dictate the perimeter. He can lock the box. They're gonna be a tough out. But for me, Cleveland, it all starts in the second round. I'm not concerned about the first round. I don't know how many teams had a super teams. How many super teams did you see? I mean, let me ask you hypothetically. Once we get past Miami, Golden State, you can say the case for Boston now if you want to. Who else are super teams that we had? Who else? You gonna tell me Brooklyn was a super team? Because they didn't have the guy that led. You had names. What other super teams that were all these super teams? Do tell. Phoenix ain't no super team. And all of that was when? 10 years ago. Thank you. You just the only team I would say that might be considered super team is the Boston Celtics of now. That's the only one that you can make that case for. I'll give you Boston. I'll give you Boston in the last 5 years. I'll give you Boston. But anything else, I can't give you. Can't give you that. You know. He those two plus those three. Well, yeah, they were all intertwined. But that's no different than Bosch and Wade, and that's no different than um, looking at the pieces and everything. So I don't know if I could go along with that though. But Boston is the last one that I can make that case for. Because Tatum and Brown been all those Eastern Conference Finals, and they got Porzingis, and they got Al Horford. you know, they got pieces that you could make, and Drew Holiday. But that's it. When's the last? What's all this super team that we seen? Actually, it's a facade. It's a joke. The Lakers that run in the bubble, but those were the golden oldies. Wasn't a super team. Golden State's last championship wasn't a super team. Toronto's chip wasn't a super team. Milwaukee's wasn't a super team. And I would say that Phoenix, you could have made an argument with Dayton. You could have made an argument with Booker, with CP3. You could have made a point with those guys. Um, Nothing with the Heat. Uh, Nothing with okay, let's look at Dallas with Kyrie, Luca. Who else? Who else? I said, what super teams? But the bench thing is true. That's true. All right, now keep on coming. Don't get quiet on me now. I am waiting for questions today. Ready to talk. Come on now, people out here. Let's get it. CP3 and Blake. I think it's going to surprise some people by me saying that. Nash and Stoudemire. I'll be honest with you. Anybody could play with Nash when he was with Phoenix. I mean, Sean Merriman had just as many moments. I thought CP3 and Blake because that whole the dunk. I because they were Lob City. That's why. No one ever looked at Phoenix and said Lob City. Lob City is going to be CP3 and Blake for me. And Amari didn't. Amari's career, the fast break, but it was Nash that predicated a lot of that. Listen, when DeAndre Jordan was it when they had the hacker Jordan, remember? That's how special the Clippers were. They were hacking him. Okay? That should kind of tell you something. So, by the way, Ted, how many times y'all gonna keep playing Sacramento? Sometimes the Lakers playing Sacramento. I think I played them like 8 times in the last 15 days. Want the Lakers play anybody else differently? Been beating them though, and actually kept Sabonis on a triple double. Now that one I like. Jason Kidd made everybody front page news, even Kittles too. Yeah, it's almost like the fix was in. Well, they couldn't beat them the last 2 years, so they're finally beating them now. Doug Christie ain't gonna last long. That was embarrassing. They had 2 quarters where they gave up 40 points each. That's embarrassing. They don't play no defense. And you don't care who you fire or who you bring in, you don't have, DeRozan ain't gonna help you. Firepower backfires. They got too much of the same, you know. I just think that they're gonna be problematic. Pretty much because you have no identity. You didn't De'Aaron Fox is getting wasted. Sabonis is getting wasted. Monk is getting wasted. Pretty much. I hate to say it because this team should have been there with Minnesota, should have been there with OKC, should have been there with Dallas. And now they look like, yeah, they can score and athletic, but they can't play no basketball. They have no game. So I'm not impressed. Not at all. But anyway, back to the early topic we were talking about. Now, I will probably watch it, but Charleston White, there was something that came out earlier and they call his game out. There's some people on here that I know that are eye spies, and I don't waste my time entertaining them. They serve a purpose for what they serve, but it's too much. Not good. 56% saying Donovan is being ignored. That's interesting. We're gonna keep coming back to that. Could be a pretty highly contested topic. All right. Okay. That's a good way to get thrown off this channel. I can imagine it would be. Because that's what he does. That's what he gets paid to. Oh, Azealia. Is that some kind of a cancer? I've heard of something like that. I'm just asking. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. You know, I do try to always find the good in what he does. I did do that video about him helping the family who was getting evicted. And I don't spend time dwelling about him and Magic or Jordan because, you know, they got situations that's been out there. Um, People were petty, and some of that stuff needs to be washed away. You know, I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't see why not. But see, this is the problem we got into as a race of men. People get so envious of people doing so well, can't stand you to be the second line, and when you take over, people got an issue, and then people want to stand up over you. That's why we come up short. They both are wrong. Yes, Zeke needs to let that stuff go and move on to something else because you can't change history now. And Jordan is so set in his ways, you know. That's why people don't. Well, Magic understood that he didn't have, he understood that a good energy of life extended, you know. Of course, Magic knows he was wrong too with some of the stuff with Zeke, and Zeke did that too, and they were friends, you know. Of course, initially, the way I remembered it, the '85 All Star game, they were freezing out Jordan because Jordan used to wear jewelry and was loud, and they say he was a country bammer, and they wanted to say they sent him a message, but that changed. Yeah, well, Zeke and Karl Malone, that was not surprising. Cats move on in life. The ones who don't, bound to repeat it again. I think Isaiah Thomas has not gotten his just due, and some of it is Jordan's fault. Not to do with the more rings argument, but just because Jordan kind of vilified him and called him a bad dude, even though he did give it up for him as being the second best guard after him. Oh, that's how cats used to play back then. Used to get them. You could get that. You could get that clob up the head. Today, if a guy does that, he gonna be suspended. They're gonna put him out for about a month too. But back then, that was the norm. You're seeing a whole different NBA, whole different league. Stuff they used to allow, you can't do today. So anyway, please everybody come. It seems to be the Sunday of trolls. I don't know. People are just saying anything, putting anything out, just got anything. Maybe somebody spiked their fruit punch. You know, every year you go through the end of a year and you just have a reflection on what your year was like, what you went through, what you were feeling, what you were saying. And, you know, uh, it all depends on what your emotions were like. A lot to digest. They do, because it's like one big party. Yeah, but the Pistons could actually play ball, though. They were allowed to get away with what they got away with, though. Let me tell you something. David Stern, until you beat them, wasn't going to change nothing. Basketball is a physical sport. So till you beat them, wasn't going to change nothing. Yeah, all these events and all these things seem to like people get excited. I don't know. I'm not, I don't, I think you just how you look at stuff. That's all. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, they get into it a whole nine. And Valentine's Day and all that. And they get into like something. Yeah, I got no comment on it. I seen it. What's up? How you living? Folks just be all into these sort of things. Glad there's some more people coming through. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to see people are taking this poll too. It's interesting so far. Hmm. New Year's Eve always, like I said, people always got remembering what they went through, what they were doing, you know. So I can't say some people take it seriously, some don't. Sometimes the new year can scare you. Sometimes, it all depends. Um, they're not as good as you think they are. I know what the score was. I saw the low lights. Their defense got ate up. Um, they fire up teams that get the best out of every team. You know what? They top 23. You think they were top three the way teams come after them. Dion got them hyped up. The Heisman. I don't think the agenda has been on where it needs to be, and that is to be in a great team. I think individually with Sanders and Travis Hunter, I think, and Deion Sanders, I think the hype of the guys. 9-3 is nothing to sneeze at, and that was a good year. But some of their losses this year were brutal. This was a brutal loss. They got manhandled by BYU. Bad. Had they lose close or they win this game, people may have said, hey, maybe they should have moved up to like a 13-14. They look like a team. That's what some people are going to say. But there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. It's 4 or 5 teams that, but there's a lot of that. But the thing is that their defense in the games that they lost, a couple of those games, they got waxed. And they got waxed bad. Bad. So who will be a better coach? That's a hard question to ask because two different situations, and I don't know what the philosophy is going to be. But I got a funny feeling. If I had to put money on it, I'll say Deshaun Jackson. You expect Michael Vick because of being a quarterback and nuance, but you don't see Deshaun Jackson doing the kind of thing. So I think D Jack may shock some people. I think he may shock some folks. One of those cats will get an NFL opportunity. Mark my words. He may be as a coordinator or as a coach. We're starting to see a little bit slow progress, though. Slow. But the reason why this is coming about is that is the Deion Sanders effect. In fact, I think it was Michael Vick who was asked, "Are you going to be the next Deion Sanders of coaches?" And he said, "I'm be the first Michael Vick." That's the Deion effect, though. The black college football coaches emerging. That's the Deion Sanders effect. Because it's all about speed and it's all about access and also the NIL and branding yourself and having a successful story. I remember that one place, that bomb. I remember. That's probably why you still hold in high regards. He had a couple big ones in his lifetime, but nothing crazy enough to put you with the same conversation with Randy Moss. Yeah, Lovey could coach, except he stunk in Houston, but he was good in Chicago. I mean, the Bears did get to the Super Bowl. Think about it. You gonna tell me that Rex Grossman and the other one were as half as good as as Justin Fields and Caleb Williams? Look at what he went to the Super Bowl with, and what have they had the last 2 years? If you give Lovie Smith either one of those two guys, that man won a Super Bowl. That's how he was a good coach. He just didn't have the right offense system. People forget that Lovey was the second African American head coach in the Super Bowl. That's a little statistic for you. You want some historical? There you go. He doing good with Dion. They didn't do good last night though, but he's definitely gonna try to get back into the league as a coordinator. Fisher was a decent coach for a while. For a while. But when you give a guy a 25-year contract and you get 5 out of him, you know, Fisher Price was taking money. But for a while he was decent, you know. They should have parted ways with him after year 8 though. This turkey set up there in year 18. Yeah. I was at one game when they played New England, they were getting housed, and he got this big old contract. I was like, what the heck are y'all paying him for? Mm-mm. So I what they were missing was more weapons on that team. That's what they were missing. They did not have enough weaponry. I know you'll throw Derek Mason at me, but I'm taking Miles Garrett. If he played for the Rams, they'd be saying the next in line after Aaron Donald. If you play for Houston, they say the next in line. Miles Garrett is a beast. But when you play in Amsterdam or New Hampshire or Ecuador, nobody knows you. I see Miles Garrett take over things. Micah Parsons, Shannon Sharp said it best. If it ain't scoops, fumbles, sacks, he ain't that effective if they don't have an easy half field game. Miles Garrett be making stuff happen. It's just that Cleveland sucks on. I mean, they don't give him. They don't. He beast. I might be in the minority when I say that. I don't care. Parsons is overhyped. Well, quite say overrated, but he's been overhyped. Well, you could say overrated. But Miles Garrett's been beasting. Who you got? Who you got? Miles Garrett is one. Parsons is two. Who you got? If you had to pick out the two, I'm Miles Garrett. That's a good question you asked too, because not many people would ask that. Yeah, I think he don't get his due. I watch Cleveland. Well, when Jameson ain't playing quarterback for both teams, but he be bringing it on defense. I mean, you know, it's not his fault that they suck on the other side of the ball. His defense be on point though. Yeah, I just don't. Again, they've done a disservice to that man. I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan, so mm. Mike Evans, come on now. CeeDee Lamb got to play like 5 more years before I'd even entertain this conversation. He's a puppy. No, I've been flying since I was yay. So no, I've flown quite a bit. Thank you, Carter, because you got a Buccaneers logo. That is hilarious. Yeah, you can always tell. I mean, I don't know how old you are, Zach, but putting Lamb up against Mike Evans is an insult. I mean, that's kind of like asking. That'd be like asking Sam Darnold up against Matthew Stafford. One man's a made man, the other guy is still in training. I like Waddle. I like Waddle. I just don't think that they don't even execute the offense to the half that they could. I think Waddle and Tyreek could have been the Marx brothers of this era. Because Waddle be bad. They just Tua's usually if Tua ain't playing, y- they in trouble. Barkley. Henry's a beast, but Barkley, come on now, he didn't carry the whole team. That's why he's MVP consideration. And I like Derrick Henry a lot, but come on, Barkley. I do think if Henry had been, consistent, but Shaquan carried the team, and he's playing with Lamar Jackson. No one look at Jalen Hurd as MVP candidate. No one was even looking at Philadelphia as a threat. Barkley got a chance to break records. I'm taking Shaquan. I did. I saw a advertisement. I saw something about Russia too that came up in the paper earlier today too. You never know. He said he's worried about him. Why? um, I think expectations. I understand what Aikman is saying. Aikman came from UCLA. He paid the price with Dallas his first couple of years. He just so happened when Jimmy Johnson believed in him, and then they drafted the right pieces. I agree because their offense has fluttered ever since that Washington game. That tip, they have not been the same. Their offense went down the tubes. I agree. They don't gel the way they should. You got Keenan freaking Allen. I watched the receivers they got, and this ain't the old Bears. They got some talent there. They're not getting coached up. And it can mess him up. But ask Justin Fields about that, Troy. Because was Justin Fields the problem? Y'all thought Caleb Williams was going to cover up your problems, and you thought Justin Fields was too young and immature. People need to stop treating Justin Fields like he's Jameson Winston. Their offensive line is horrible. They're very arrogant and smug, and they ain't done nothing. They got the kind of team that if they're halfway on point, they'd be average at best. They should be competing for the last wild card as we speak. They could you could have 4 teams come out that division in the playoffs. There's no excuse for them being 4-12. That's just not effort. And a lot of it is lack of effort. So he's right. If you're saying that already in his rookie year, then you're thinking, oh, he could be 4 or 5 years of just doldrums. Could be. But yeah, I played basketball, football, and baseball. Baseball was my first love. Basketball, football, goddamn. I used to throw that quarterback. I used to throw that rock. Yeah, I did all that back in the day. We played all the sports outside, you know, did everything. We used to do TV wrestling too. Well, had a buddy in the old neighborhood who used to have these fake belts, and we used to beat his behind up, and we be clotheslining him, pinning him, all kinds of stuff. We used to do all that. Did all that. It was mid South. It was no, I wasn't WF. We were TBS. That's back where the Four Horsemen. But yeah, we was all with Ric Flair, all that. We was into all that. But he had a buddy of mine who used to make belts. He used to like take paper and make them out. Sleeper hole, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Cat back in the day, this was way back. They put me in a sleeper once. I nodded off, cracked me up. Cassie did. But funny story, when Sting was big, yeah, dude. Sting was big and he put that figure four. My buddy put the cat in the figure four, and that dude was squealing like a pig. We was cracking up. Wow! Crack me up. Put that figure four. That figure four was no joke. That leg lock was no joke. And dude got excited about putting that figure four on people. Cracking like crab lock. Because every time we do wrestling moves, dude was always trying to put a figure four on somebody. That mess was no joke. That's when wrestling was fun though. We had all, oh yeah, we was all into it. Yeah. Well, he did because he had dude back like all squealing. What's technique to it though? Hmm. Used to watch it. The full Nelson, body to body suplex. Hmm. All of them are racist. So what's next is new. They all racist. We just watch it because we like the entertainment of it and plus it was sports. But they all are. They all it's no different than basketball, football, baseball, boxing. If you dig deep enough. You'll feel that way about all of them. They all are. All right, keep on hitting that like and subscribe. We got more people coming through. So yeah, they all got kinds of names. Yep. They did whatever they wanted to do. People didn't care back then. Most of them are. Most of them are. And Stagger Lee was his alter ego too. People didn't care. It was business. I remember when he alternated as Stagger Lee, he had a white mask on. He was in Mid South Wrestling. He was a strong dude too, because he picked up King Kong Bundy, who was about 5 bills. Dog was a big dude. Had that old scruffy beard, had those chains. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you go back. We had a cat back in the day named Paul Bosch. He used to run that wrestling. That's back when Tully Blanchard and Gino Hernandez were partners. That's like when Gino was dating Farrah Fawcett briefly. That was some crazy times back then. Yep. I think when he pinned King Kong Bundy, that was a big thing. I want to say cats back then was strong. Remember Tony Atlas? Hmm. Of course, Kamala, Harley Race, all that. There was a whole lot of stuff that they got away with back then that they wouldn't fly with today. You know, Ron and Jimmy Garvin too. The Valentine brothers, Arn and Ole Anderson. I'm not gonna go into what is what, but I was just answering the question up above about sport being racist. I said that they all are because they all put people in a box, and most the majority that was successful were white. That's just how it was. We loved it. We didn't really. It's not until you get older and you get a chance to have some sensibility that you get into some. I don't know. I just say that they are because of how they handle their business. When we talk business, we're talking about who runs the situation, who's in the places. No one looks like us is in the places. So Mid South, I love Mid South, but yes, it was. It was. They didn't have too many black folks up in there, and it was a business. Pardon. Yeah, long time ago. Um, went to it was back in Houston because we knew. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We knew a couple of the cats that used to wrestle. Thank you, Doctor Wu. Um, what's this guy's name? I can't even think of his name. There was this white dude named Mike the Bigum. It's Tiger Conway Jr. Tiger Conway Jr. was big for a moment. We had a couple of cats that we knew. And I did check out something. It was fun back in the day. But I'm not gonna lie, after I want to say about 25, 30 years ago, I got out of it though. And I did watch The Rock. You know, I saw that with John Cena and all that. but it didn't hit me the same. Brickhouse Brown. That's funny. The names alone tell you a lot. Mhm. They did a lot of stereotyping, you know. Showmanship though. You know. And people buy it because it's showmanship, you know. It's a lot of show. It's a cold business though, too. Because there ain't too many cats get that money like you think. And they gotta work year round if you happen to be memorable. What you want me to say? They gotta win. They gotta go into the postseason with some momentum. It's kind of anticlimactic because they weren't going to catch Kansas City to begin with. But I remember Coco Beware. But they still got to finish up strongly. You know, I know there's some people out there holding hope that the Jets beat them because that way Aaron Rodgers will get a justifiable 5 wins. It's like we get the 5 wins, the Jets can be excited about that 5-10 record. I don't think Carlos was on steroids. He was a great athlete. No, you got to play because you look kind of lethargic against New England. You got to play. You don't want to lose. You can win one of these next two. But I think that they were on such a high after Detroit that they took a step down. But they gotta be on them. They've been vulnerable on defense. See, I watched the Patriots yesterday against the Chargers, and that's the Patriots that I knew and loved this year. I don't know what that was against the Bills, so that got me a little concerned. The Patriots look like the Patriots that we've come to appreciate in the last post Brady years. That against us was um yes, I've heard of Asian people. Yes, I have. And I have been to a service. Yes. Yes. That's a kind of odd question, but yes, it's true. Yeah. Fortunately, in my life, I've had quite interesting backgrounds of friends and associates and some incredible souls. So I remember it like yesterday because he ran so fast that I don't think the meter is still smoke. He ran that thing back in '88. He ran that thing. Yeah, this is why Mahomes is the GOAT. This is why he's the GOAT. And this is one of the reasons why I turn on, turn off when he wanna. It's like you've been waiting for this. I am not shocked or surprised. The guy camps out in the AFC Championship game in January for a living. Just let that sink in. You've never seen anyone as dominant. Well, so in your lifetime, you saw Tiger Woods, you saw Serena, you saw Barry Bonds, you saw Shaq. LeBron had a run, Duncan, Kobe. But when we talk about what Mahomes is doing, that's on some Tiger Woods. That's on some Tiger run. I can't think of too. I'm being real. You know, you can throw Michael Phelps. I can throw some names at you, Bonds. You know, I can throw some names at you, but his dominance is mind blowing, mind blowing. Because you expect him to heat up, and even though I can't stand Nick wrong, Nick Wright is right about him. Brady was dominant, but he didn't dominate like Mahomes did. Let me break this down. They won those 3 Super Bowls, and then he went some years and they lost the next 2 before they beat Seattle. So he had went a gap. He wasn't in the AFC Championship the first 7 years of his career. I remember when they lost to the Broncos when Champ Bailey intercepted that ball, was it '03 or so? He wasn't '04 or 05. One of you, he wasn't in it like that. They lost to the Colts. Colts won the Super Bowl. They lost in the Super Bowl next year. Pittsburgh won the Super Bowl. You remember? So no, it wasn't like not like this cat. No. Usain Bolt was must see. So was Michael Johnson to an extent. But Bolt was a trip. Bolt was the first dude I see him running, and he's looking at you like, You in number two. He was doing the Larry Bird to you. He's like, I mean, I ain't seen nobody run like that though. All of Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, his improvising, which is rehearsed, you can't say that he doesn't win legit because he's had to come from behind in two Super Bowls. I mean, the thing with Mahomes, he checks the Brady and the Montana boxes. Come from behind. The only guy I've ever seen. This is the only quarterback I've ever seen in my life. He could be down 20 points in the fourth quarter. The game ain't over. That's only like Steph Curry range. That's ridiculous. That's how great he is. Victor Conti did that, but he did it because, hey, they were going to come and get him. The feds were. So, you know, Marion Jones just did dumb stuff. That's all. I think as an individual, he might. I think as an individual, he might. But if they win and they make noise, then no. The Super Bowl wasn't close, but that AFC Championship game, it took 2 third and 10 plays, and they were up 17 to nothing, and Kansas City almost came back and beat them. So it was close. That Super Bowl wasn't. That doesn't mean anything. You asking me who I'm more impressed with, I'm gonna tell you Mahomes. Because when it's all said and done, he's gonna have some records. And if he stats pads a couple years in between with what he's got, how you gonna argue? If he three-peats this year, how can you argue? Yeah, you beat him. Could be. If the Knicks don't get in the way. We'll see. I got 3 teams in the East: Cleveland, New York, and Boston. If he gets 4 in a row, he'd be considered the greatest player ever. Forget that. If he wins 3 in a row, he'll be in the top. He'll be the GOAT quarterback. With 3 in a row will put him in one of the 10 greatest players ever. He gets 4 in a row, he's the GOAT of everything. LeBron should have Brady's record. They actually Brady had 4 and 6. People would still hold him in high regards, but he had to win like that to get to the next level. LeBron should have had 7, considering the teams he set up himself up with. What would it do for Andy Reid? It'd make him the greatest offensive minded coach um, since Paul Brown. It puts him over everybody. It puts him over Bill Walsh. Yeah, because then he goes on to a whole. That would be. And you start talking about our back. You start talking about it in a different type of tone. In Orlando, I think is about a year or two away from being a serious threat. Good now to be a problem in that 4 through 7 slot, where there'll be a hard first out. And they might could sneak somebody, but if they come back with the focus and the drive, say in a year or two, they got a chance to move up. They got a chance to move up. Oh yeah, what's his money? Is a great defense coordinator. Oh, let's get first things first. They got a 3 people before we get to 4. That'll be an historical event though in itself, because 3 alone makes Andy Reid. Yeah, he's something else. Because he's the one that beat the Patriots, if you remember. They tried him as a coach, it didn't work, but as a coordinator, that guy is a beast. Um, but maybe 3 peats, you can make the same case. It's hard what Kansas City's trying to do. It's hard. The way they win and the way they play, it's hard. Chuck Noll was a great coach, but I think it's overridden because they had all pros at so many positions. Sometimes you a victim of success, and then you get lost in your own. You know, I mean, you had all pros at so many levels and the dominance. It's a shame too. He is the greatest Steelers head coach ever, and no one will come along and replace his dominance. But he also had the advantage of having some of the greatest players ever in the history of the game. No, Bradshaw was a bit of a, cocky kind of cat. I'm sure they fell out quite a few times because Bradshaw was always, you know, just get the job done. Would have loved to see if Chuck Noll could have coached Joe Gilliam, though. We'll never know how that may have turned out. Yeah, Mel Tillis was big back in the 70s. Well, yeah, because he had gotten to a point in the place where he made himself into a household name. He obviously has always done stuff. He's always had he got away with a lot of stuff. He was a wild cat, country boy. See, Terry Bradshaw is the cleaned up version that Brett Favre never was. Brett Favre is a better talent, but see, Terry Bradshaw know how to take that country boy hick vibe and make it cash in and make himself likable. That's the difference. Plus, I give Bradshaw his due. He been wearing that toupee for 50 years, kept that rug on his head, and got over. Got into some movies. He turned TV. He was wilding, but he good old boy that crossed over. Played his cards right. Got a smart agent, smart business maneuvers. Smart dude. Smart dude. That's the best thing I'll say about Bradshaw. Smart dude. Mediocre. But hey, you know how to make it work for you, more power to you. And he did. What about him? What about Howie Long? What you mean? Um, the problem with Roethlisberger is that he didn't win more than he probably could have. And he was stiff and bland. Bradshaw got more personality than Big Ben's got in his whole being in this pinky. Big Ben was a party boy, Talladega Nights, one of those cats that wanted to party, frat boy. Oh, Howie Long was a great player. He was very physical, very demanding. As an analyst, he does his job. He's thorough, you know. He's AJ squared. He does what he's supposed to do. He got hooked up. He got hooked up. Al Davis, somebody put in a good word for him and got him a lifelong pass. Said he looks like a journalist and he's going to be just right for your conglomerate. And he fit in. He tailor made. His sons be outspoken though. But yeah. No, Big Ben's problem was is that they didn't win enough. Had he won, and he didn't have the personality. Troy Polamalu had more personality. Jerome Bettis had more personality. Hines Ward had more personality. Your quarterback don't have the personality. That's not a good look. Yeah, Kevin Green, he was. He was always one of those frat boys too. Like him and Hogan could have been like third, fourth cousins. The green eyes, the long hair. I liked Howie, but when I asked him about Marcus Allen, he said it's just not right. He was just matter of fact, you know. That's how I always looked at him. I respected him as a player. I don't really talk about him. He's good at what he do, you know. But his son come out, Chris Long, when they were coming out talking about Black Lives Matter and all that, was like, whoa. Desmond is fitting real good. Desmond compartmentalized himself. You know, it's kind of like Nate Burleson. Got the '90s hairdo. Got some, kind of like a New Jack Swing type of cat. Makes me think about the rapper Kwame. You know, but catchy. You know, he hangs in there. He can hold his own, and he fits. He fits. Obviously, Michigan cat. I can check him out and see what he do. But I think that once he won that Super Bowl MVP, the kickoff return and pop locking, he was pre Reggie Bush in a way because I thought it was going to be more to his career. But he won, and he made into a broadcast thing, and he made himself accessible. So he's done good for himself. You know, I really don't have a lot to say on him because I mean I seen some of the segments on Saturdays of college football. He holds his own. Now, does he feel like he's the token sometime? Yeah. Is he gonna be like that? Yeah. That was a different era. That was a different era. I think that did we needed a playoff game then? We may have. I mean, you can have two teams that are two of the best. I like Josh Cribbs. He should have been a Hall of Famer. That's a waste. He should have been a Hall of Famer. I still remember when Skip and Shannon was saying that he was running like he had a piano on his back because that guy was on his way. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, back then you shared the title. Wasn't that long ago. Everybody be thinking stuff seems like so far away ago. It really wasn't. So please continue to hit the like, subscribe. Everybody coming through, see more viewers in here. So keep on talking. We got a good amount of folks in here. Once we got past the trolling, and we got a 50-50 on the Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, very polarizing. And I don't know, some people think that Cleveland doesn't deserve any love. I don't know. But it's interesting topic though. We shall see. I don't think he will get much consideration. But anyway, yes, that's all true. Yeah, when you shared the co-title back then, you just kind of took it. I will tell you this much. Josh Gordon, that's who I was thinking about. I wasn't in Josh Cribbs, Josh Gordon. Yeah, Josh Gordon was. Um, Back in '91, it was the Huskies and Miami that shared the co-title. And a lot of people looked at the Washington Huskies, said they way out there, whatever. So that was problematic. You're not going to have that problem now because I don't think you have as many great college football teams as you did back in the day. Yes, for me, RP, it is bad. Because, so for instance, they got generated Frank Sinatra singing Billie Jean. I'm like, come on now. They manipulate so much and they're going to whitewash everything that you already knew to fit an agenda. This is what they do with their spare time and their free time. It's not very healthy. It's kind of like what they done with hip hop when you think about it. You sing or you rap over a song that was already done. It's kind of the same thing. When I watch movies and they can make Robert De Niro look 20 years younger, or Al Pacino, or who was I going to think about? They did it to it is it's that's what it's usually designed for. Because somebody's going to use it. They will. Joe Pesci. They was in that. What was he in that one movie? They did that for him, The Irishman or something. The distortion, Oh yeah, it's always used. We can get excited about technology, but we know that what it's going to end up becoming is another device to etch and sketch and to make something that didn't need to be there there. We know. Can't help themselves. Yeah. You think they catfished you before, wait till they do you now. That's mhm. It's some sad, sick stuff out here. And they sit on this technology too. They sit on this stuff for years. Hold on a second. I go to the bathroom. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Yeah, it is done with an agenda. And they will see forth to do that until people take back the human element. People don't want to go back to regularity. So you can't have it all. So that's the times we live in. Yeah. Well, like I said before, it's always been in front of your face. Maybe not as directly, but it's always been there. They've been playing with you. And they're gonna keep playing with you because they want to see how much voyeurism they can take you on. It's a trip how it works. Playing with your mind. Playing with your mind. I am not an AI fan at all. They asked me, did I want to use any of it on some of my forums? And yeah, I watched him. I watch his show. I do comment on his takes. Um, the thing about it is that it's used as a method to infiltrate, to mess with creativity. They would rather take parts and manipulate. But again, I tie AI with hip hop because if you can sample and loop and then sell it as this as being your song or your imagery, you can do that with a human creation. That's what they've been doing. They've been manipulating. So you take Botox, we can give you a new face. We can rearrange you. We can give you new body parts. That's what they do. It's all connected. It's all connected. You know, Humans are being watered down and they playing along. Yeah. He was on it, and it's true. It is very true. That's the price you pay for being in the social media era, though. It's pros and cons to it, and you got to know when to say when. It's how far you want to go with it. How much are you willing to take? and how much you say I'm okay. That's the reality. You know, I'm not with it though. If I could draw, I draw what I can draw. If I can paint, I paint what I paint. That's what they want. The delusion for inclusion. But this is nothing new though. And I know I keep going back to music, but I'm gonna do it again. When they put Natalie Cole with her father, Nat King Cole from Unforgettable, they tie that technology together. They did this back 30 years ago. So that should tell you what they've got in store. You know, I was a kid when Milli Vanilli was out, and they put the two faces with the voices. They had a cartoon character in the video with Paul Abdul singing one of the songs. I forgot what the song was. Opposites attract. So yeah, but what I'm saying is that they've already what they did to how this ties into the day, they can put things with people and they've done it. It's been sitting there. Diddy party members shut off social media. Well, ps- it depends on who they're gonna go after. It all depends on who they're gonna go after there. No, Clive Davis was behind Milli Vanilli. He knew about that. See, the people in the public have been fooled for so long that they been hoodwinked and been happy with it. That's what it does. Because you don't own nothing that you see and you don't have a say. Oh, yeah. But it hasn't even begun to become the tip of the iceberg that it's going to. They setting him up in ways that he ain't even seen. The fact that this woman's name can be anonymous, and the worst mistake there's two things. He got very bold and said, y'all can't come after me, like he got all our right. And then he was trying to say him and Diddy were never friends and all that when y'all got pictures going back 20 years ago. Yeah. I think you embrace things that you don't know. However, at the same time, you question to know. But you again, they they take everything and they want to make a twist to it. They'll take the Mona Lisa sculpture picture and make her smirk, make her wink. And some people like that. You know, I've been watching pictures in the heritage.com site, and they can take pictures of your ancestors and people, and they will be made moving. He's got old white money on him. He's got old money on him. So does Diddy. But what does it mean? He ain't got no help on him for what is about to come down. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna go down. Him and Beyonce. I'm not a fake. I'm not fake. Of course I did. Um, I know how tough that business is. You have to be able to make money and generate an interest. It's a cold-blooded business. Yeah, I respect this grind because it's a tough business, especially when you're no musical talent, no having dance cat that found a way to look like you done something genius and heroic. Yeah. And he had half the industry all roll up on him, jocking him. I respected his hustle. I respect all artists' hustles who make something in that business because it's a tough business. I never said otherwise. But if you're asking me, do I respect him musically? Heck no. I think he had any talent? Heck no. But asking me to, to go and be a Swingali and to, find talent and make that thing pop, Oh yeah, because it's nothing but a hustler's paradise. If you know about the music industry, ain't nothing but hustling. So if you can hustle, that's the perfect business for you. And he knew how to hustle. He just spoke up about that liquor, and that's what got his behind in trouble. Had he settled that money and get too big headed and try to talk what he talked, them folks turn on him. Um, she's had a hand in some stuff, and she's been associated with Jay-Z, and she knows a lot more. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, the backlash is coming where you'll see what I'm talking about her. They've been covering her behind up for getting in people's careers and doing things. It's coming. That's why she's trying to get all her stuff back out, and she's trying to get all the fresh money she can get. And you know that they owned and operated by that business because they sticking Blue Ivy up there to be performing. Think about it. Blue Ivy got a Grammy. What did she do to earn a Grammy? Look at what they involved, how they, just think about it. The most nominated couple ever, the most nominated artist ever at the Grammys. Give me a break. Most wins. So it's about to be more serious than you think. I don't know what that mean, King Gucci TV. You just left the initial. I don't know. It's about to go down. You about to see some stuff that's gonna come out revealed. It's coming. That's why she's trying to stock up now. It's about to be very, very, very serious. Oh, she's got a ton of them. She's got the most Grammy wins ever. And she's the most nominated artist ever. And he's number two. And he was on the stage this past year talking about how come she can't get album of the year, talking about Beyonce. After what's going to go down, that's gonna be the last. There's definitely gonna be something that's gonna rock it. I keep telling people all the time about him, birds of a feather that stick together. Notice who he's been in the wings with. That's all I gotta say. Ain't no saints in that industry. And it's connected to a lot more than you can imagine. And when it all unfolds, you gonna see. Wow. 58% saying Donovan Mitchell's being ignored. Okay. Yep. You could look it up. I was like, they just be handing them out like cotton candy. It's bought and paid for. Well, they are. Some of them are bought and paid for. These shows are so fake. It's about to be really drastic. Just saying. All right, people, come on through. I see we got more people in here. Feel free to hit the likes, hit the comments. If you want to talk about, let's do it. It's a good Sunday afternoon. It's the last Sunday of 2024. So looking forward to conversation. Hope everything's going well for you. For some people that are off for the next few days or the week or going back to work, what have you, come on through. Glad to have you. We talking about a difference of different topics and different thoughts. We welcome great conversation, great adult conversation, no trolls, nothing disrespectful, and you'll get your questions answered. I don't have none because I don't supply to none of them. First of all, I don't go broke because I don't go buying a whole lot of stuff that I ain't got no business buying. So I don't really have any, not for me. You have to ask people that get into their New Year's resolutions, and I know I don't. I think that every day should be treated like a holiday. You walk the streets, you're blessed with another day. Be thankful. Don't get caught up in nothing because nothing is promised. And just be respectful of people. Be respectful of folks. Show the love. That's all I say. Don't get caught up in all that other stuff. Too many people tripping now about stuff that's not relevant. So, um, people usually got the same story every year. It's what they gonna do the next year, and they'll come back 365 days later with the same line. If you ain't changed what you did now, you ain't gonna change it later. It's cold, but what's your temperature though? That's the question. 60% saying yes for Donovan being ignored. That's pretty good. Donovan getting some love. That's not bad. That's quite warm for Cleveland. That's quite warm for Cleveland, for the land. So are you excited for the Cavaliers? Because I haven't really even asked you that. They are playing good ball though. And it would be something else if they came out the East. Yeah, we still near there though. They could come out the East. They could come out the East. Not last night against Denver. They got their butt toe up, and Stewart and Russell Westbrook was chirping. That was hilarious. All right, Carl. Um, I think it has its place, but the problem is that so often than not, it's been used as a financial institute for situations. It's kind of like when I look at the lawyer Ben Crump. The intentions are in the right place, but then the follow throughs, uh, uh, it kind of veers off. It's important if they actually get some justice, but see, the thing is, that for it to really matter, it has to lead to reparations. It has to lead to a real social change. That's the only thing. Pretty much. That's how first 6 weeks. True that. And people got to be serious about it. You can't be eating all the roast beef and turkey and fat back in college, and then you're gonna jump in January 2nd, and then you do it till about the super right before the Super Bowl, and you're back to where you were. I never been told that one before. Electric 476. Ben Vereen. Well, maybe it's the hat. Ben Vereen was never heard that one before. That he sold out because basically he cried after he slapped Chris Rock, and then he is begging for forgiveness and crying all on TV and stuff. I'm like, you got some mental issues, yo. I like your career and all that, but you got some mental issues, yo. I don't know what to make of Will Smith. I mean, great talent for what he's done to compartmentalize all around entertainer, but uh he's all Yeah, Carl. It has to lead to something, not just as a. I like it when you say it does matter because it does, but it seems like a slogan that hasn't taken to next level. It's not about who he knew he could touch. It's that he got up there and cried to get that Oscar, which was so contradictory, which made him look like he sold out. You offended enough, but then you cry to get that award. I'm like, Steve's a very opinionated cat, then turned off a lot of people. He lucky they don't come after him, but he seems to be in the good for now. But he's got stuff with him. Celtics got a good chance too. They got a good chance too. Yeah. Jada, well, Jada's doing Jada things. Jada always been for the streets. I don't know if I could have been with a woman who was 30 years later still is hero worshiping a man that's been gone for 3 decades. I don't know how you can cope with that. Yeah, Mr. Cooper was it was a good show. They made it more wholesome than what it was originally. It's supposed to have been like an updated black version of Three's Company, and they made it more wholesome. Well, it wasn't just so much that she was 304 as that she always liked to say she liked thuggy ruggy dudes. She was with Grant Hill. That was who she was. Will had his first wife. I never heard about him and Nia Long, but I know his ex-wife though. And they crossed it over. They do that on TV. That's how it goes. Because they told him we don't want your show to be too black. That's what they told John Witherspoon when he was doing the Wayans show. That's why he was not reaching that pick to be the father. Okay, Martin Lawrence. Yes. Yeah. I liked it. I used to watch it every, when it came on uh Sunday. I used to watch Martin. He was doing multiple characters. He was entertaining. Um he had a strong show. It was a good show. It was a very entertaining show. Dude had that it for a moment. Martin had that it for a moment, you know. Now, what I'm telling you is that John Witherspoon, he was gonna try for a show on NBC, and the powers that be said he was too black. They didn't want him on the show. Yeah, Crump's always about the dough. He follows the money. He comes with it looks like the right intentions, and then he's sitting there with Al Sharpton or somebody, and his intentions look one way, and then it goes into another. Rock was a good show too. Black Charles Dutton could act. He could run circles around a lot of cats, but they didn't. They didn't really push it like they could have. They didn't push it like, and he should have gotten more TV roles as the detective or more, versatile roles. He didn't get it. He had chops. And I'm not gonna bring that back. I like Rock. They're not bringing back Flavor of Love though. They did do wonderful Flavor though, but they're not bringing it back. When I say the two black, what I'm saying is, we talking 30 years ago, and that's how a lot of these executives thought. They still do. Yeah, the Hugleys was happening for a moment. Hmm. So I'll tell you this: he can beat one, he can't beat 99. What's happening, BT? Good to see you. Benson was a middle of the road brother. I can't say I'll say this. He was doing what he got to do. He was in a stiff setting. They weren't gonna let him go but so far. Yeah, he got 99 other things that you may heard about. See, this is just the start. There's other parts to the layers to it. There's a lot more going on. It ain't gonna be like what you think. You got not, I'm telling you, it's gonna be other things involved because they're gonna get it to where see, and I'm gonna tell you the problem that Jay-Z's got. He got the same problem R. Kelly and Diddy had. They had a prior case against them, and they all won. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate that. Did you understand what I said, Carl? Thank you, Ted, for that. They all had a prior case. Now, what does that mean? They said, well, there's no double jeopardy. But did Michael Jackson get hit with double jeopardy? Yes. Did OJ Simpson get hit with double jeopardy? Yes. It's been the takedown of hip hop culture because, first of all, when they whitewashed the culture to pop, when used to call it street rap, gangster, when they put terms on it, that was the takedown in itself. The Biggie and Pac situations is the takedown in itself. When they can get you to denounce your own, talk bad about your own, sell it, the whole thing. Yes. Of course he was, because he's an industry plant. Don't be surprised if he testifies. Don't be surprised if he's giving them some information as we talk right now. He's already no. You know, he gets around to everything. Yeah, yeah. It's already been the takedown because how many people own you do know the story about Jay Prince, Suge Knight, and Irv Gotti were all gonna form a distribution deal and they all caught cases because they couldn't share in the big piece of the pie of the industry. All of them made money off of it. Benzino still talks about they all made money off of it. They fueled something and they ran with it. So they talk about it and people buy into it subconsciously. They have good chemistry, but I don't have no interest in watching it. I saw one, I seen them, I was okay with it, but they got chemistry. You know, when you can build a formula, you can sell the same movie 99 ways, more power to you. I just don't want to see it again. That's all. And I don't think that's the best movie they could do together either. Fat Joe don't care what nobody think because he got the cookout pass. People don't let him sit there on the grill and let him talk and do what he wanted to do. He don't care. His audience don't care, and the audience don't care. That's why when you say it's the beginning of the end of hip hop, it's already been the beginning of the end because it's not even black ran. Black folks did. Um, it's not dangerous. It's only dangerous in the sense that people were actually doing something that they could control. But when they started signing bad deals and then they started hustling people, everybody could get on board of it. Then it was even worse than some of the past situations and deals. That's how people like Puffy, Dr. Dre, and some people blow up, piggybacking off of sucker deals. Because hip hop expectancy wasn't that long back in the day. And you had to do other things to make your money. Think about it. It's fast food of music. Cats rapping about something that's flavorful now ain't necessarily gonna hit in 15 years. It might not even hit in 15 months. It's a short-term life expectancy. How many rappers do you really have that are out now that were happening 20 years ago? Think about it. And when I say happening, I'm talking about where they actually have, yeah, he can rap and he has flow, but there's nothing special about him, far as I'm concerned. You know, you know. But he aligned himself with the right folks at the right time. Got the cosign, had the money put on him, and that's what it comes down to. People don't ever like to hear you say it like that because I said, "Well, I said, "No, it's a lot of factors involved. It's a lot of money being pushed around, and they pick and choose who they want." He's got fans. I'm not gonna argue about, if he got fans, I'm not taking up. But what Ted is presenting is something that we talk about from a different aesthetic. I'm saying he ain't got no fans. I mean, he's been impactful in the culture. You know, he, b- you know, he been around since the late '90s. He had a hit movie. I mean, he's an impact. But I'm not big on him. Just saying. But to each and their own. That's all I'm gonna say about that. All right. 61% with the Donovan Mitchell. That's a good poll. We got a good poll going on. You following the YouTube channel? Yeah, of course I do. You must don't really follow my channel too much because I talk about other channels on my thing and I give a shout out to different channels. Ted will tell you I watch a lot of different channels. I just formulate my own opinions on stuff because you know, but I do my research. I'm a student, and a lot of stuff I do is actually off of memory because what I remember too. But yes, I watch how other people articulate. When it comes to NFL, I watch some of the players ones, but again, there's so much politics involved because people don't really shoot from the hip about what they really feel. A lot of them is because they have to follow a format. You know, that's why I don't really like to get engaged with that. That's how I feel. I'll give you an examples. If I watch an NFL channel and they mention 10 of the greatest running backs and they don't say OJ Simpson, I can't take them serious. If they sit up here and tell you LeBron's on the Mount Rushmore with Michael Jordan, I can't take them serious. There's certain things I can't take serious. In baseball, if they don't acknowledge Barry Bonds higher, it won't last long, Carl. Because money and ego get in the way. He gonna do him like he did Steve Bannon. What's up, TW? How you doing? Glad to see you. Now, Ulan helped him win. YouTube sports content creators are the most influential, especially when they talk about things that don't get discussed on the main forums they are. I like wows. And that's about it. I do like watching first things first because they do have good chemistry, but wows is probably my favorite. I'm not really that fond of most of the people I see on these shows because they all look like they bought and paid for. And they never gonna come out and say what they really want to say or what they should say. So you're gonna get something that the corporate suits got him. No, he's doing good on his podcast. I can't say he fell off because Shannon Sharp is doing extremely well. If you are a person that's for the betterment of your fellow man or fellow woman and you build somebody up as a protege and you build them up, that's not a L because Shannon Sharp built big time by working with skill. So that's not an L in that regard. Now, if you say he fell off in terms of his content, well, his show wasn't that good. His show wasn't that good. But in terms of him getting Shannon up, Joy Taylor got shows. That's the Skip Bayless tree. That's the Skip Bayless tree. And um the reality is a lot of what he did is what got next level. Well, because they got some sorry but excuse games. That's why. That's all they yeah. You get it in real time, but you also get it in a perspective time where people actually talk about it from a balanced option as opposed to the media. The media only gives you the one-handed version, whereas nowadays you can get it in a cut where you can relate to. So you articulate it in a way. He don't need no brother. He just needs somebody that's coherent with him. He can have Max Kellerman next to him. You can have Max Kellerman with him. That's all you would need. If he wants to talk about the topics and be truthful. You gotta understand when he got Shannon Sharp, it was done as a theatrics and it worked out the way it's supposed to work out. Because remember, he took on a cat that nobody saw gonna blow up like that. No one saw Shannon Sharp becoming that kind of dude. Skip Bayless had a big hand in Stephen A. Smith's career. But see, Skip was a journalist, and then he went into shock jock, which Jim Rome's did something like that. But oh, I'd say 34-31, Green Bay. I think Green Bay can win it by a field goal. But if Minnesota wins, they win by a touchdown, 31-24. So that's how I look at it. Green Bay by a field goal, Minnesota by a touchdown, if that was a game. Coward is the last of that dude that he's a Yahoo. He's happy. He's animated. He says anything and hopes something sticks. His audience never checks him on his inaccuracies because he's gotten over, and they allow him. I think he's some people around him that kind of say a few things that seem legit, but he taps. He goes back and forth. He's one of those guys that it's comical. No, he doesn't. No, he's just another guy on the farm. Yeah, Rome did. Rome still got his own little show. Well, Stephen A gets the sachet around there because the head brother in charge. That's the vibe they give him. So when he crying for some more money, now he's got to feel like he's the big boss because he did have a hand in bringing Molly, hand in Shannon Sharp. Um, he got Max Kellerman out of there. He's gotten the people that he wanted to have in his place, so he's gonna feel like he's bopping a bit. Even though I'm gonna tell you, it's not gonna be it. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. No, no. I remember the Jim Everett show just like yesterday because he called him Chrissy Everett. He got thrown off that chair. I cracked up. That's back when people didn't even trip. No, Miley and Jalen just was just like something they was into, and I don't even know what it was. Well, D'Lo was gonna get traded. They're building for the future though. So, um, excuse me. It's a good move. He'll fit good in there with Miami off the bench, but they gonna unload him again too. Ain't nobody gonna keep D'Lo. That's gonna be his last hope though. D'Lo been a dead man walking. He got into it with JJ Ridiculous, and this was inevitable. See, he paid a price for snitching out Darvin Ham. Oh yeah, they just ain't found the right deal yet. He gone. They just ain't found the right fit. If I'm Miami, I trade Jimmy Butler for De'Aaron Fox if I could pull that off. If I could pull it off, something's gonna go down that you didn't quite see happening. So something's gonna go down. There'll be some move that you didn't see. Somebody'll take a chance. I think Pat Riley's willing to make a move because he's gotta try to do something because the Heat need a shakeup. They don't have any juice. They're not really a playoff moving team. They look like a first round casualty if they get that far beyond a playing tournament. So he got to do that. Butler's gone. He's gone. A C plus. He better. He's high C. They don't play no defense. And they really ain't really been out of LA that much on the road. So let me see what they're like out the road. They've had some bad games where they got their butt waxed. So I haven't really seen them, you know, you play Sacramento 18 times in a month. Let me see when you go against Houston. Let me see you go against um the Nuggets, obviously. Let me see you go against Boston. Jimmy's done. He done. He old. He's not dependable. He's not a top tier player. And he's looking to be a good sidekick somewhere. So yeah, you let him go. But you get something for him though. If someone's gonna be gullible enough to give you something, you make a best possible move. You can get something for him. It's just that, you know. And the thing about it is that he just could never flip the needle. That's all. If he won a ring, had he won a ring in Miami, he'd been gone a month ago. He wouldn't even had to ask. Yes, I do. Nope. Well, that's the problem that he's got now because Miami is rebuilding. That's what he's in a situation now. Ain't nobody going to spend no money on him to be a leader on a veteran team. Yeah, I want De'Aaron Fox if I could have him or Sabonis. I take either one of those cats pronto. Of course, I got a feeling that they probably go after Brandon Ingram. Low key, they probably looking at Zion Williamson. Pat Riley's looking to make a move. I'd make that move because Sabonis is a high double double. He flirts with a triple double, and his style would be more offensive generated. His style would work really well with Miami now. They got in the two finals, but they're not a serious threat. They've gotten two runner ups, and it's nice. But Pat Riley don't do runner ups and nice. Sooner or later, he gonna come for Bam too. Don't be surprised if half the team is on the list except for Tyler Hero. Tyler didn't work himself well. He's got a chance to retire as a Heat. Bam might, because Bam kind of strikes me as a Miami kind of cat. But you know. Well, how's he handling playover duties to Draymond when Draymond is doing a triple single and he's not really a factor? Steph Curry predicates that offense by his motions and his movement. He makes stuff happen. Draymond does dribble and gets it down, but it's Steph that makes that thing tick. He changed the course of what you knew as an actual point guard, but he is. That's not a surprise because Randall is one of those guys that He can play, but he's so streaky. He could be really good, and then he can be kind of disappear like Casper. It didn't hurt Trevor. It didn't hurt his stock in the draft. They went against a team that been reading the clippings and touring their behind on their whack defense. That's what happened. Ted brought it up early in here before you came on. They've had a tomato can schedule. They beat a lot of tomato can teams, and they really ain't played no defense. And they just got exposed against a BYU team that exposed them last night. I don't think he can pull that off. Eli had the last name and the complexion. I don't know if Sanders can pull that off. Besides, brother coming to NFL now as a quarterback, he can go anywhere now. It's not like it was. Yes, Steph is. Steph is so underrated when he drives to the hole. His assist and his passing is underrated. His ability to details. I haven't been in Chicago in a long time, so you got me mistaken with somebody else. I haven't been in the shy in years. Yeah, he did. Cats were known to pull that face. Those two guys won two rings each. The Sanders had that in him. I don't know, and I don't know if a black quarterback would be advised to do that. Just saying. Anyway, I remember when Elway did that. We're not gonna be playing guessing games of where I could be or where am I at. But tell me where you in. I was in the East Coast. 58% for Donovan, so this is good. Appreciate the likes and everybody's coming up. It's been great today. This has been great. Having a real bar burner of a day. Glad to see more people coming through. I might be tempted to do one more show before we yeah, I'm not giving nobody no answers to because I don't know what that is. I'm in my skin. And if you don't tell me what your questions are, I'm gonna have to keep myself in my skin and then have to let you bounce. What you mean is that they still drafting them? What you mean done? I think as long as you got speed and you got you know, no, the days are just starting. Have you not seen? Oh, they gonna make them start. Believe me. Let me tell you a story. You seen Patrick Mahomes? Four Super Bowl appearances, three rings. They start. Lamar Jackson, two league MVPs. They start. We're not even gonna talk about Kaepernick's runner-up Super Bowl. Russell Wilson won and won the Super Bowl. Okay, I don't like how this is going, so I'm gonna have to hide this user because this don't even make no sense. No, it's something that's embarrassing for the NFL. They could have been had it many, many, many moons ago. I told a story as I told Ted 40 years ago. I was living in Houston, and I remember when Warren Moon had to wait take from Canada to come to the NFL. This was something. This is not that long ago. And if you want to be technical about the real rise of the black quarterbacks, we're talking the last 15 years. Jalen Hurts Mahomes Super Bowl, you had the first two black starting quarterbacks ever. Oh, I know they don't like it. there are people who are very have a hard time accepting the change. Can you hear me? Give me a one if you can hear me. I go through the 2 hour cycle because sometimes it's staying. We just been on there. Give me a one if you can hear me. Technical difficulties. If you can hear me, give me a one. No screen. I'm on right here right now. I can see everything. But you can't hear me though. No sound. Blank screen. This is crazy. Y'all can't hear me at all. Y'all can't hear me at all. No sound. Oh, I gotta do this again. No sound, no sound, no sound. That means I gotta close it and come back again. All it does is give me 2 hours. All I get is 2 hours. Okay. I'm trying to make this make some sense. No sound. No sound at all. Nothing, 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 nothing. Trying to see what I got. Um, yeah, I had a troll. That was a troll, the last one. Got his butt up out of there though. Yeah. Trolls are left and right. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a one if you can hear me. Give me a two if you can't. If you give me a one, then I know. Barely in and out. Okay. Okay. I'll probably have to cut this then. I'm trying to keep it on as long as I can. Is it real low? Hmm. Trying to get that thing on blast though. Trying to see what's up. I know it's gonna be kind of difficult. I don't want it to end just now though, because I'm so close. Yeah. If I don't see anybody coming through, then I pretty much have to conclude.
so good too today too. Again, this will be available on the podcast eventually. So shame with the questions on. 58% saying for Donovan Mitchell being ignored, so that's good. Anyway, if it comes back in, let me know. Usually it works for some people. Sometimes it's not. It's first time it's like shutting off for everybody. So trying to give it as much time as I got. Had a good day though. Good conversation, a lot of feedback, thoughts and takes. And like I said, I might come back the next day or two before the new year kicks in. We shall see. No, I don't do DraftKings. Oh, you can hear me, Rich? Good. I was wondering if anybody could still hear me. No, I don't do no. Refuse to. Because I'm a fan of my team. I couldn't afford to bet against my team. That would be too much pain. Just my luck. Okay, glad. Good, thank you. No, I can't do it. That's why I never did fantasy football. I'm a Bills fan, and if the thought that Brady or Mahomes was going against my team, and they was that's who I had, I'd be sick. So no, I can't do it. Even if it meant money, I can't be bought out like that. But I got no problem with people that do. They're more better than I am. Because I remember how I felt. I still can't stand the Dolphins, and so to think that they were, that was a team I had to have to win, and they were going against the Bills, I'd be, ugh, no, 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 no. I can root for you if I like you, but we can't go against my team. Especially now when it comes to something like that, because then I just takes myself out of being a sports fan. But that's a good question, though. Let's see what I got. So close now. I don't mean much Bills fans. Yeah, because we somehow people forget that we're part of New York State, so they always throw the Jets and the Giants, which that's a small sample because the Bills got more wins than the Jets and Giants put together. That's an insult. I mean, them two teams suck. We're gonna actually double those two teams in wins. That's the sad part. They'll probably combine win 6 games. We can win 12. So we are clearly the best team in New York State. That's okay though. I crack up off of it though. Hmm. If you can hear me, keep on talking. I'll stay on until Yeah, but the Jets ain't won since '69, and Joe Namath ain't coming back through that door. The Giants win, and then they stink for like every 10 years. So Giant fans got signs going all through the air. I'm like, it's okay though. All it takes is just one. We win, we shut everything up. That's all it takes is one. Believe it or not, even in this day with multi greedy mindsets, all you got to do. Yeah, the Jets ain't won since '69. Joe Namath, and they ain't been close. No, Sanchez did pretty good. He did better than he's supposed to have done. He actually overachieved. Mark Sanchez did actually better than he was supposed to. I think it was Rex Ryan that held him back, the coach. They did pretty good though. They got to two AFC championship games the last 20 years back to back, so but they've been to a few AFC championship games, but they haven't been to no Super Bowl since '69. So yeah, well, it's not the running backs, that's for sure. There's truth to what you're saying. But Mark Sanchez did do pretty good, aside for that butt fumble against New England. He did do pretty good for himself. He did get to two AFC championship games, so can't call him a scrub. He had a better career than Matt Liner did. Appreciate the likes, hit the descriptions. The poll question is going good. It's been a great day. Some good topics today. Appreciate when they came through. I may do another one either tomorrow or Tuesday, the end of the year one. So be on the lookout if I decide to do another one. Yeah, and he was a low second tier quarterback. He didn't really pan that deep. Yeah, but he didn't really hit though. Kind of a tough place. Because again, the running games take over there. So, hmm anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it just a second. Like one more minute. Peace in everybody. Somebody have a good day. Good night. Appreciate you coming through. I will get these technical difficulties handled, and I should be back the next day or two. Appreciate everybody that came through. Stay free, stay clear, stay minded, stay woke, stay on time. Just give everybody a big shout out. Appreciate everybody coming through. Doing quite well today. I'm gonna set off in just a minute. See what I got. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off now. So peace and the best. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. All right, I'm out. Peace.